Welcome to What's Important to You, the podcast where we explore purpose, passion, and the moments that truly matter. I'm James Dean, and each week I sit down with inspiring guests to uncover what drives them, inspires them, and what's important to them. What if love wasn't just something you feel, but a way you choose to live? In this conversation, we explore love as a mindset, the power of connection, and what it means to live with purpose in a fast-moving digital world. It's about humility, service, and protecting what makes us human. Today, we find out what's important to Juan Lee. Hi, Juan. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hey, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Really looking forward to this conversation. We're going to dive straight in with the first question with Juan. What's important to you?
Hey, that sounds like my forte there. What's important to me? What's important to me is the ability to be able to share the power of love through a love mindset. I'm an author, a speaker, and my thing is about sharing the power of love.
It's the first, I must say, it's the first time I've had that as the answer to the opening question. And it's such a beautiful thing to say, but tell me more. Where does that come from for you?
Well, I mean, because I believe it's the tool that we need in life.
Mm.
It's the thing that connects us all together, and it brings purpose, in direction. It brings fulfillment.
Mm.
Everything that we need and desire in this experience is rooted in and understood by the power of love. And when we're able to realize it, understand it, actualize it, put it into practice, we become better together to be able to fulfill all of our ambitions, our desires, and it brings fulfillment to each and every one of us.
So is that where you think that you have to, is that your starting point then, would you say? Is like, because when you think of love sometimes, there's a few different sort of, we think of maybe romantic love, we think of like maybe family. And I think the one thing maybe that when I've spoken to people like before is like the love of oneself is sometimes the one that's left out or maybe missed at the start.
Well, see, this is the thing about love. Love is this tool that
Mm,
I'm suggesting to all of us that it's more than just an emotion or a feeling.
okay.
It is a mindset.
Gotcha.
And when you're able to develop this mindset, it begins to encompass everything that you need to be able
Mm,
to navigate this thing called life.
yeah.
And it's in that space that we have all of our needs met on this journey called life that does so much. The purpose of this tool is to protect and preserve humanity from generation to generation.
Mm,
And when we actualize that, when we understand what that means, it brings purpose to each and every one of us.
yeah.
And it makes it value. Everything that we do is valuable. The moments that we're in, this right here is critical into being able to actualize my individuality, my uniqueness
Yeah.
in this space called life,
Yes.
so that it might be able to add value to not
Yeah.
only this generation, but to the generations to come.
Yeah. That's a really um different way of seeing it. I've never heard it before as a mindset. Do you know what I mean? We talk about that phrase is used all the time, and I've used it myself, but I've not before thought of love as a mindset. That's as you say, beyond emotion. That's a really interesting idea.
Absolutely. It's something that I think it's love in action is what the
Yeah.
mindset will allow you to do.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I
that's
get
and
that.
that's what's important to me, is to
Yeah.
share this alternative option, because it's been such a word that has been used that's been very abstract.
Yes.
And what I'm trying to do is to show it in a fashion, in a way in which you can actually see it in action,
Mm.
that we can demonstrate it to one another and recognize it and understand it without any abilities of ambiguity. And so that we can begin to really begin to see the value of one another, and to see it as beneficial to
Yeah.
our collective well-being.
Yeah. Yeah. It's if just even and you have to correct me if I'm wrong, but it's from what I'm hearing for yourself, it's like it's taking it that as you say, the way you put it is in action. Love is in action, but it's expanding it. If I'm hearing it right, from just not talking, think of it as narrowly as just romantic. Do you know what I mean? As I say, it's a broader, much broader perspective of just as you say, individuals, collective, humanity, society. It's taking it as a much broader perspective. Would that be right?
And it's absolutely, and it's from that, having that vantage point, that you can
Yes.
begin to navigate this thing with that type of
Yeah.
clarity.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
This thing called life with that type of clarity. That's what we're looking for. That's what we're desiring to find out, as to how do we navigate this thing called life. We're
Yeah.
all running around struggling, trying to figure it out. And what love does is it gives you this perspective that you can see clearly how to navigate it,
Yeah.
because we all have the exact same intentions, the same perspective, in the sense of what's our end goal here?
Yeah.
What's our
Yeah.
purpose?
Yes.
Our purpose is bigger than any individual. And we're just uniquely suited for our portion of this
Yes.
bigger purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I'm interested then. How did was this something that you grew towards, or is this something how did you get to this point where this is the thing that's now the most important thing in your life? How did you get to this point?
Well, it's a long story, and I'm going to try to give you the short version of it.
Good.
But it started from a point of feeling unprepared for life.
Yeah.
At a young age, I graduated from high school, feeling unprepared for life. You
Mm.
know, you're sitting out there the last day of school and you go, well, now what?
Yeah.
And I didn't feel that school was meant for me. And I
Mm.
was like, what am I going to do? How am I going to navigate this thing called life? And let's put it in perspective. I was in special education. And so then there was these white gloves that were used to navigate my experience. And I was
Yes.
like, life is not about this. There's not going to be people trying to na- make me successful, or make me um going to help me through life, and
Yeah.
holding my hand.
Yeah.
And it caused me to go into the military. And it was in the military where I began to see what love looks like. Understand this, not in the mission, but in the journey.
Mm.
It's the journey towards the mission that love demonstrates itself. And it was in that experience that I began to see love in action, where it
Yeah.
talked about the various attitudes that was necessary to accomplish something that was bigger than any one of us.
Yeah.
And it was from that perspective that I could say, hey, how does this work in my own individual life?
Yeah.
And it was from that perspective I said, okay, there is not one area in my life that when I begin to demonstrate love in it, that it doesn't not only benefit me, but those that are around me. And so it's bigger than myself.
Yeah.
And so now my mindset now is about something that is bigger than me. It's a selfless mindset instead
Yeah.
of a selfish mindset. So when you say
Yeah.
what's important to me, it's
Mm.
the ability to be my part in
Yeah.
something bigger.
Hi, James here. If you've been watching and thinking, I would like to make a change, but not sure where to start? That's where I can help. My 12-week coaching program will enable you to reconnect with what matters most and move forward with clarity and confidence. If that sounds like you, head over to jamesdeancoach.com. Now let's get back to the episode.
Than myself.
Yeah, absolutely. And what then? So you went into the military. What was then? Yeah, and I can imagine a sense of if you were trying to not sure what you were looking for and then finding it, within that space because I suppose I wasn't just to give some context, I wasn't in the military myself, but I grew up on a British military base in Germany. So my father was a civil servant who worked with the British military. So I grew up in that environment, sort of surrounded by military personnel, and it is a very different environment. If you've
Mhm.
not been in it or experienced it, it's hard to explain it to someone who's not been in it. That sort of collectiveness and uniqueness in the collectiveness.
Well, and that's exactly one of the things that made it very interesting for me to be able to share it outside of the military, because
Yeah,
it's that
yeah,
perspective that people don't recognize, that it's valuable in teamwork, in understanding the need that you have for someone that you have something in common with.
yes,
And when you bring it to a very global perspective and see that you all have this same thing called humanity in common. There is no, you're in Ireland, I'm in Ireland, I'm in the United States. My the things that we have in common, you cannot separate.
yeah,
The
absolutely.
humanity between you and I doesn't change
Yeah,
because we're on different sides of the Atlantic.
yeah, yeah,
It doesn't change.
100%. Yeah,
And that's where love connects us. You can't separate me from that.
yeah, absolutely.
That's the mindset that I'm referring
Yeah,
to. It takes
yeah,
us around the world, through your neighborhoods, everywhere.
yes, absolutely. Because I think I wonder if you have a similar experience in that when you go through something, whether it be, as you say, within the military, or if you're in a close sort of team outside of family, if you know what I mean, it's sort of, in theory, strangers, that you say, and you have that common purpose, whatever it is. There's an element to me as well where you're the thing that's outside yourself is it's not just necessarily the thing that's bigger than you, it's the other people as well. You're doing it because of your colleagues or your partners or your people that you're in with. It's that thing of you're putting yourself into doing because you want to support your friend or your colleague or whoever it is. It's like they're bigger than you, and you got their back, they got your back. That sort of connection.
That's the camaraderie that you can't you can't fake that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can't fake that because my needs are connected to you.
Yeah.
Your needs are connected to me. And it's that bond that's unspoken, that
Yes.
in the mind, in the moment, I don't have to be concerned about what I don't know or what I can't see, because that's where your perspective is vital to me and my perspective is vital to you. And see, that's the attitude and the mindset of love that allows us to realize that we don't have it all.
Yes.
We
Yes.
do not have it all. I need you.
Yeah.
It is non-negotiable
Yes.
to understand that what you have is important, just as what I have is important to you, what you have is important to me. I have to
Yeah.
value that.
Yeah.
And when
Absolutely.
I do, I'm better for it just as you are.
Yeah. Because it's taking that, because I think sometimes, and I've one of you experienced this when people who are on the outside, they may come across that they've got confidence or that they've got it all figured out, but they're trying to do it on their own, almost like for whatever reasons that they have this thing in themselves. And either not asking for help or dismissing it or trying to thinking they've got to prove something or whatever. That, it's like that disconnection is almost like them thinking that if I just need to do it by myself versus being open versus to letting other people in and letting people into themselves. It's like it very much, when I even just said that word, that sort of the disconnection is very much the opposite of what you're saying, in the sense of that love that connects.
It's the ability to understand. And then one of the very interesting attitudes that love has 7 attitudes that I talk about, and of which one of them is humility.
Yes.
The ability to be able to understand that you, we need help.
Yeah. Yes.
We are in an environment that requires us to understand that we are here to serve one another.
Yeah.
And the reason why we're here to serve one another is because we can't do it alone. We cannot do it alone. That's that common, that element of being a human being requires connection, requires association, and yet we do everything to divide ourselves.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so contrary to the very nature of who we are.
Yeah.
And what love
Absolutely.
does is reminds us that we need one another. And when we bring that attitude of recognizing the fact that, like I said, each and every one of us are valuable. And it doesn't dismiss the fact that what we're going through as individuals are challenging,
Yes.
but our answers and our solutions are in many cases right next to us,
Yeah.
right beside us, right in front of us. But we don't see them as a resource.
Yes.
We don't
Yeah.
see one another as resources. We see
No.
each other as either competitors or enemies.
Yes. Yeah. Doesn't work. No, I mean, no, I absolutely agree. And it's that thing of you don't, there's a phrase I've heard a few times, this, you don't need to build your own sort of building. You don't have to tear someone else's down. Do you know what I mean? Like, just it's because then it's you don't need to pull someone else to pull yourself up. You can all come up, all rise together type thing.
Absolutely. I mean, it's understanding the power that togetherness brings.
Yeah,
You can do
absolutely.
more together
Yes.
than you can as an individual. We're in a culture right now where we're talking about elevation. We want to elevate ourselves. And we really don't understand that you can't elevate yourself by yourself. You need others to elevate.
Yeah, absolutely. You
Can't do it alone.
mentioned, no, you can't. You just mentioned there, you said there was it 7
7
attitudes?
attitudes.
Yeah, you
7
said one of them
attitudes
is,
of love.
yeah. You said humility was one of them. What are the other attitudes that you have? I'd love to hear
Okay.
that.
Well, the first one is sacrifice. The attitude of being able to be willing to sacrifice and invest into long term instead of,
Mm,
give up the short term for the long term. Understand that it causes you to be able to do some sacrificing now for later. The other ones are I said humility, then you have courage, and be able to stand amidst in the midst of any situation, in a situation where you can say, okay, I'm going to stand on what it is that's valuable to me and not be swayed by what's popular, so to speak.
yeah.
You have that, then you have care, the ability to care for others. That takes you outside of yourself. Takes you outside of yourself. Then you have discipline. Discipline is where you're able to be consistent without anybody having to remind you or to enforce it on you. It's a choice. And then you have responsibility, being accountable. These are the things that really make up our characters and then begin to put them on display. so that people can now see that I am what I say that I am. And then we have being tenacious, having tenacity,
Yeah.
that ability to not say, I'm not giving up. It's just
Yes.
not going to happen. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not going to give up in spite of whatever the challenge is.
Yeah.
See, these are fundamental foundations of the attitudes that we have to have, and they're rooted in love, because that's the motivation behind me
Yeah.
having this mindset.
I love. I was going to use the phrase and say I love that, but it's a really, and even just literally as I'm thinking and talking to you, a really different and interesting perspective for you, those use of those words and having them anchored from that perspective of love. And because people will say about something like that word of, responsibility, for example, people could almost think that's nowhere near it. That's the but if you anchor it towards it, and if you were to demonstrate by being responsible as a demonstration of that, of love, it really does make sense. So as you say, it's having those descriptive words or those attitudes. As you say, even attitudes is better because they're actionable things. They're tangible, actionable things. It's not something that you just think about. You have to practice those things. You
Yeah,
have to be
you
able to
have to put them
demonstrate
into
those.
action.
Yeah.
They begin
Yeah. Yeah.
they're actually things that you can demonstrate. So people
Yes.
can see these things in you, and that's what we're trying to do, is
Yeah.
bring love into action.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
And what does it take? And what is it rooted? Where is it grounded in? It's grounded in not only my benefit, but yours also.
Yeah.
It's not
100%.
selfish, it's selfless.
Yeah. Absolutely. And so then I'm going to take you back again. So you did your time within the military. So then what was the next sort of step that brought you towards where you are now?
Well, it was that ability to understand that what I had learned, that functional mindset, or that actionable things that I learned in the military, it was not acceptable or translatable outside of the military. It was foreign. It's as this conversation is to now anyone who's never heard this before, like from being in the military to coming out, and they go like, that ain't how we function.
Yeah.
That's not how we function. And I was exposed to that and ran into that. Like, for instance, being responsible, being disciplined. This is something it's rarely discussed on the outside, because it's like I will be responsible as if only to me, as it relates to me, but not
Mm,
knowing what it is when I'm referring to me, because it's rooted in something that's beneficial to only me.
yes.
Yeah, it's only so I'm not have to be conscious of it, because it's really rooted in being selfish. It's really being rooted in selfishness. And so I had to come out, and when I got out, I saw myself being combative, confrontive. It's like,
Yeah.
being on time, respecting someone else's time. We had an arranged period of time to be here today. I'm going to be here.
Yeah.
My word is who I am.
Yes.
I have to now demonstrate my word to you by showing up. If I didn't show up on the time that we had suggested, then that would indicate that there's something wrong with me. And you have to be able to own that.
Yeah.
And that's what I was being in confronting. And I deal with this constantly, even with
Yeah.
people that I work with and stuff, because it's still, I need what they have, but they don't really have the motivation
Mm,
to and always be in touch with what we're doing.
yeah.
It becomes more transactional than it
Yeah.
very much who they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
But
it's been a very um confrontive, combative type of mind. But that's why I'm here now. That's
yeah.
why
Yeah.
I'm pursuing this to the point where is that we struggle and we don't know why.
Yes.
We
Yes.
struggle and we don't know why. And in my book, I said, Love Made Simple, not easy, but simple. It's to not,
Yeah.
it's to say that it's not easy,
Yeah.
but it's going to be clear.
Yeah.
It's going to be understood. It's going to be a way in which you now have what it takes to be able to be what you want to become.
Yeah, I think it's a really, I've said it, heard a few times and said it myself. It's a really valid point. And there's a difference in use of words. And I love the fact that you say it's simple doesn't necessarily mean easy. It's hard. And it's being open with people to, as you say, because you said it a few times in the sense of navigating this thing that we know as life. It's challenging, it's hard, but it's, but that's that, but I think to me, that's also where the beauty and the love is. It's in the heart. If you say you just want it easy, what do you actually mean? Do you know what I mean? Because it's like you're. I don't even know what that's supposed to look like. Do you know what I mean? If we just say we just want an easy life, it's like, to me that sounds incredibly dull.
Well, but that's the point I'm saying. The journey is where we
Yeah.
have all of our experiences on.
Mm,
And it's
mm,
how we navigate that journey
yeah.
is what I'm suggesting is that you use the tool called
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
to navigate this journey, bringing clarity to all of these challenges
Yeah.
that in many cases we we view them from just one perspective.
Yeah.
What love allows you to do is to transpose the perspective. Change your perspective, you change your experience.
Yeah. I think as well, one of the things I wanted to make sure I didn't miss over there when you just said it there, and you gave the example of us meeting here today in on this call, and the fact that we arranged the time, we both turn up. That's what we are as individuals, and I think that's what some people they take the miss, because I get the idea of what you're saying is like to have the bigger something purpose bigger than yourself, or something like whether it be the people that you're with, the purpose of just humanity, society, but that sounds really big and sounds like almost too grand, but it's done through individual actions that almost then on the other end of the scale seem too insignificant to even worry about. So people get lost in the big and don't concentrate on doing the stuff that they can do in the moment, and real control, because that's that responsibility thing. There's people, I think, can misunderstand. You have more control or agency sometimes than you would have believe, and almost, oh, it's too big or it's too hard or whatever. But it's like, no, what the thing was to turn up, and it was to turn up at a arranged time. It's like sometimes it's in the small where you can make the changes.
It's where we have a unified need to be interdependent.
Yeah.
Okay. And that interdependency requires us to be able to have something that the other one has need of.
Yeah.
And when we have that understanding, it I have to know who I am. See, we're not having this conversation because you don't know who I am to a certain degree. Okay? There was something that triggered your desire for wanting me to be here with you.
Yeah.
That was my work.
Yes.
That's my work. Then it became evident as to me being able to make myself available because you now have a need for what I have.
Yes.
And it's when each and every one of us, which we all have something that is uniquely ours.
Yes.
There is something uniquely ours in each and every one of us. And when we develop that, when we come to know what that is and then develop that, then it makes it easier to be able to share that, to be able to serve one another with that. Because
Yeah.
we can't put the old adage, we can't put the wagon before the horse.
Yes.
And we've got to really be able to know ourselves, accept ourselves, develop ourselves for the purpose of giving ourselves.
Yeah.
And when we do the work, we do the work, this journey becomes a whole lot simpler.
Yeah.
Simpler. Not easy, but simpler. And that's what we want people to get, is to understand that there is a clarifying perspective that we can experience life through. And it's the love mindset. It's
Yeah.
that when we're able to see it through the love mindset, we begin to have the ability to adjust how we view things, which in turn affects the way that mm, we transition through things.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm interested then now to see you come to this perspective within this mindset, and then obviously you want to be able to empower the people and share it. How did that sort of come about to then thinking, actually, I could, use this in some way, and to whether it's with the people you work with? How did that come about? What was the transition there? Or
Well, see, this is the thing that I realized, is that I wrote my book Love Made Simple back in
yeah,
2020.
yes,
But it was something that I had been living ever since. I mean, my military
yeah,
experience goes back 30 years ago.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
and it's something that I it became very easy to equate what this was, because I have a Christian background.
yeah,
And so then the problem was, is that I didn't see the actuality. I didn't see the actions where the military brought it to real life action.
yeah,
He says if
yes,
you love something, you'll put your life into something that you love. And what the military says is that the one thing that you're going to know when you sign on the line is that your life could be
mm,
required
mm,
for this service. That's sacrifice.
mm,
Now, to understand that is to realize that there's something bigger than just you,
mm,
because we have this love for our country, that would be willing to lay down the greatest sacrifice for that country, for the ones that we hold dear. That's the military mission. Love exceeds that into the sense of humanity is something that we all should treasure. It doesn't matter what landmass you live on, we all represent humanity. And it's from that perspective that I began to look at my life and saying, I have a part to play in something that's bigger than myself. And so I carry myself. I demonstrate that in all that I do with my neighbors in my state, in my country, and even abroad, wherever I might be. I see value in what I have learned to be able to use to now enhance the ability for me to be able to share love in any environment, in any situation, because I have your best mind, your best interest in mind. And I can't do it with me being selfishly thinking about myself, because I'm a benefactor of what it is that I might give you.
absolutely. So I'm trying to then sort of put it back into my own sort of thinking then of because you come from such perspective of the giving, and I think it's a wonderful thing. How do you then, because it's obviously it's what you do as well, it's what you do now is your role and your career and that. How did you kind of square that circle in some ways of making it part of your career and this sort of giving perspective?
Well, it's the ability to be able to see the pain of those that are suffering,
Yeah,
that are missing out on living the life of confusion,
yeah,
and living a life of lack and all these things, and seeing a need for them to be able to understand that the key, they have the tools
yes,
to unlock their future, to reach their
yeah,
full potential, but it's in their ability to, we've got to deprogram some things. We've
yeah,
got to stop thinking that you've got to do it on your own.
yes,
You,
100%.
you're not going to make the impact that you're intended to make trying to figure it out on your own. There is
Mm,
no Nobody. We have a
No.
tendency to associate success with with dollars and cents or with money. Dollar value is in what you offer that no one else can.
Yeah. And do you think with the people that you kind of work with, what is that the most, would you say, the most common thing that people are struggling with? That sort of lack of purpose, or lack of, what is the thing that you see most commonly?
Comparison.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I just feel it there now. Yeah.
Comparison.
Yeah.
When we feel it's to know that you're unique, but yet you're comparing yourself,
Mm,
you devalue your uniqueness.
yeah.
And so what love does is allows you to find your uniqueness that makes you sit straight up in the chair. It makes you valuable. And whether or not someone else appreciates your value, it just means that that's not your person. That's not your place.
Yeah.
That's not where you belong. I'm not on someone else's show right now. I'm on this show.
Yeah.
You know, the question is what's important to me show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
That's uniquely aligned with letting me speak to a broader audience that can relate to something that's really, really connecting to someone.
Yeah. It
Okay.
is.
I'm not talking about sports. I'm not talking about politics. I'm talking, but here's the point. In my vein, in my the thing that's important to me, it covers everything,
Yes.
but it's very specific to those who are hungering and thirsting to want to know and to be better.
Yeah.
To be
Yeah. I
better.
mean that. Yeah. I mean that. The comparison. As soon as you said it there, I got sort of goosebumps and chills, because it is that sort of huge, almost cloak that people can lose themselves under. And it's like, and I don't want to be a sort of uh label everything on sort of social media or not, but I think it amplifies that sort of thing, in a sense of it, because I think there's always been an element of it being there, but I think it's sort of, you can lose yourself, and people absolutely lose themselves in something, not even start, not even have that idea, and they kind of think that all the sort of motivation or excitement of an idea, and then they go look and they see that someone else has already done it, or they're doing it slightly differently, and they think, oh, they're so far ahead, and then they just stop or shut down. It's the biggest anchor that holds people back, isn't it?
Absolutely. And the thing about it is that we allow then time to become a boundary that
Yeah.
prevents us.
Mm,
Whereas is that here I am so enthusiastic and so excited about waking up every morning to
yeah.
begin to share what's in me.
Yeah.
Here
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
am, I'm what I call the fourth quarter of life. And I am enthusiastically trying to share what I have with whomever will be willing to accept another perspective, just to share a little bit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
Absolutely.
it doesn't matter how old you are. In my book, I break it down into four stages of life, which are
Yeah.
teens, young adults, adults, and seniors, which
Yes.
has absolutely all of us have these things in common, and
Yes.
we desire to be seniors. Seniors are as important as teens, and young adults and adults have this inner circle that we all need one another. We all need
Yeah.
each other. And
Yes.
when we understand that, we begin to see things as very holistically, and it's not this us against them. I wake
Yes.
up and I have to learn just as I was in a teenager,
Yes.
because
Yes.
this technology wasn't around when I
Yeah.
was growing up.
Sure.
So for you, I mean, just the mere fact of how many times have I've been on interviews, I've been scheduled for interviews that I couldn't even get onto the platform. And I had to cancel the interview. I didn't know how to get on. They would send
Yeah.
me something and you have to do all of these little things to get it to come. And I was like, I don't know how to. They was like,
Yeah.
man, you out of touch. I was okay. I can't get there. It's happened But and as
Yeah.
a matter of fact, it might be, it was it was a platform that was relatively, and how technology changes so fast.
Yes.
So what this platform looked like 2 years ago, it probably is
Yeah.
totally different than what it looks like right now.
Yeah.
And so it's changing. But
Yeah.
as a fourth quarter person, a senior now, um, I've got to be willing to want to grow, want to be able to learn.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and that's what this is. It's very vibrant that we understand that, guess what? I need you, younger people who know
Yes.
this stuff, who has
Yeah.
something that I have to gain, that I can use.
Yes.
And at the same time, guess what I might have for you? A little bit of wisdom.
Yes. Absolutely. I think that's a really important point that I want to make sure that we really, really sort of hammer home to people, because I have this thing as well where, and it is that unfortunate thing, I think, with news is always about, as you say, the division. It's about sort of pitting one against the other. So whether it's well, awful as it could be to do with race or sexuality, or to do with where you are in an economic status, age is another one that's always kind of thrown out there as a trope, and a sense of like the sort of the name callings of stuff of gen this, boomer that, or young, and it's so tiresome. And oh, young people are always like this, or oh, and it's like it's such, as opposed to, you say, of, well, where is the the trading of information, where is the collaboration, even better, of information and experiences, and knowing what one can help the other person with, because it shouldn't be a fight or an argument, because, as you say, again, going back to one of the very first points, you said it a few times at the start, is navigating this journey of life. Why would we make it more harder for ourselves by pitting one against each other? It seems madness.
We're look, we're all going to enter each of these stages.
Yeah.
If we are
God
blessed to be
willing.
able to
Yeah.
experience, I mean, it's no guarantee to be a senior.
Yeah,
But the
absolutely.
fact is that if you're there, there's value.
Yeah.
It's just as much value in birth, in this process, because of the
Mm.
potential, as it is the experience.
Yeah.
Okay, as a senior.
Yeah.
And we've got to be able to understand that we're in this thing together,
Yeah. Yeah.
and we have something that needs to be experienced or to be shared. If not, here's the point: everything has purpose,
Yeah.
and it's up to us to identify it and to be able to realize it for each other. Each of us. If you're breathing, you have purpose.
Yeah. And do you work with, I'm always interested when I talk to people, that the sort of the people that they tend to work with. Do you work with people across the generations, across the sort of the spectrum or such?
It really doesn't matter. Yes, I do. But the thing
Yeah.
about it
Yeah.
is, my heart's desire is to instill this mindset into the younger generation,
Yeah. Yeah.
because they have the ability. For instance, um, ideal millennial.
Mm.
I'm a Gen Xer. Gen Xers, millennials are 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 the ones that really have the potential to really make a difference, and they are. To be perfectly honest with you, I think.
Yeah.
Are
I'm
you a
just I'm
millennial?
a just into the millennial bracket. Yeah.
Perfect. Because these are the ones that are in that young adult lifestyle that really has the ability to impact not only the younger generation but the older generation. And they
Yeah.
have the ability to, with the right mindset set shift, can really impact the perspective of our humanity.
Yeah.
I mean, going forward, because there's so many things that are happening right now that your generation are dictating.
Yes.
They're
I think.
dictating.
Yeah. And I think it's a really important point, again, kind of following on from some of the things that you said earlier, and I said earlier, is like, again, it's like the people can have more of an impact than they believe as well. And because of then the continuation of the advent of technology that can be used again in a positive way to make that potential, that positive impact. So it's that thing of again of we have all these tools, literal physical tools that you could use it in that cliche for good or for evil. So why not use it for good? Why not try and bring the world on and bring whether if it feels like again that the world is too big, why not your community? Why not your, because if you do, it will spread. And I think, it's like, but as you say, the whole point of it is coming out of yourself. Because if you think only in yourself, you shrunk it down, it's too small. It's that ability to think, actually, I could have a real positive impact.
Well, look at it and I'd like to share this with the people, and I let you know this experience that we call life is a temporary experience.
Yeah.
It's temporary. Our ability to impact long beyond our existence in this temporary state is to invest. The only way that we're going to be able to live beyond this experience is to invest into something that can carry it into the future. We're in a great space right now. What we are recording will be here long after I'm gone. And for anyone to be able to pick this up and to see the value that love can play in the mindset, that it can make an impact into the generations to come. It never will change. We will be dictating the future in each generation.
Yeah.
And when we realize that we have the ability to make it something greater than ourselves, about something greater than ourselves, man, the potential of what the future will bring is tremendous. With the invention of technology, it's the fact that it's what do we want it to represent? How do we want, like you said, good or evil, good or bad? The fact is, it's in our own best interest. And we need to
Yeah.
be able to know that.
Yeah.
And I've spoken to others, many people, scientists and stuff, and we're on the verge of something that we really need to understand, that AI is really a game changer for human beings.
Yeah.
And we really need to be able to recognize, if we desire to be able to possess what we know a humanity to be, we have to protect it.
Yeah. Yeah. I was talking to a lady on the show a few weeks ago she's always been in that sort of digital space in Ireland. She's like within the financial services industry. She's like with the first computers back in the sort of late 60s, early 70s. She's been there along with all the changes that's happened, and now even into AI. And what she said there, same thing. She's like, exactly like what you're saying, that echoing, like in this, she was kind of saying a new sort of another version, a new world again. We cannot lose our humanity. That's exactly the words that she said. We have to make sure the human remains at the center of whatever we end up doing, because otherwise, what's the point in some ways? Like, we cannot lose that humanity.
The potential there is that humanity will no longer look as though it
She,
looks today.
yeah, and yeah, absolutely. And she was saying, it was like, I'd be interested in your perspective on that. She was like, we need to, because I think she says, like, it will have an impact on people's work and employments. We don't know exactly what it's going to be yet. We don't know where it's going to come. But she's like, in a world where the work is, people's purpose, a lot of people's purposes comes from their work, from their role, from their job. When that becomes less of a thing, how do we ensure that people still have a purpose in this world without that? And we got to really, she's like, we got to challenge that now. We can't wait for that to happen. We need to be having exactly like this conversation. We need to be people to be really understanding, well, what is my purpose in that? And what is it? How can I, and it's about helping, as I say, the person next to you. How do you invest or reinvest in that person that you go? So it's a really, it's so important that we don't ignore these conversations.
It's a what's the word? Micro
Macro,
macro
macro. Yeah,
conversation,
yeah,
because it's at each micro that
yes,
impacts the macro. And
100%.
what I'm saying and suggesting is that we need to be willing, and our existence is
Mm,
to protect and to
yes,
preserve humanity.
yeah,
That's the purpose. That's what I'm saying love does.
yeah,
It gives us
yeah,
the tool to protect it. It gives
yeah,
us the wherewithal and the vision to be able to know how to navigate these experiences so as to understanding the meaning and the reasoning behind it is to protect this thing called humanity. As in though it has brought us to where we are, and we are toying with the fact that we're going to use AI to substitute, because when AI begins to
mm,
teach itself, it really talks about, but the thing that AI doesn't have is it doesn't have humanity.
yeah. It doesn't. I think the thing for me as well, it's the as much as the sort of teaching itself and relearning itself and things like that. And I say, like, I'll be fully open that I use it in various things that I do. Of course, we all do. But I think though, it's like this. It cannot replicate the conversation. It cannot replicate transactional thought in that regard. And it's these things. These is where the humanity, I think, remains. It's the continuation of conversation, the continuation of sharing information. That
Compassion.
absolutely, what a word,
Compassion.
100%.
There
Yeah,
is no compassion in AI. It is
yeah,
robotic in nature,
yeah,
and
yes,
it will train itself to be robotic in nature,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it's incapable of being compassionate, because it takes emotions and feelings, and it takes the ability of the human interactions to
yeah,
be able to do that. It's incapable of that.
yeah,
And what we are
absolutely.
doing is saying that that's unimportant
Yeah, yeah,
by saying we're not willing to protect by saying it's unimportant.
yeah.
And
No,
that's at the
absolutely.
core of who we are.
100%. Absolutely. No, I love it. It's yeah, I mean it's a real thinker, isn't it?
And that's what love is, though. And see, therein
Yeah,
lies is why we need this tool called love, because that's the only thing that can protect it.
yeah, absolutely.
The only thing that's going to protect it from around the world. You have to know that you're important to me and I'm important to you, above and beyond what AI is doing, what
Yeah,
this is
absolutely.
advancements are doing. We are advancing ourselves as humans out of existence
Yeah.
if we're not
And
careful.
yeah, absolutely. And I think, this is where I think is like my sort of small at the moment sort of entry level perspective on it in some ways is the thing of is it's like, yes, we can, the advancements in technology and in particular AI, we can use, and we can use it to enable, but not to replace. Use it as a tool, as is in some ways, but not, it's the thing of like not doing it for the sake of it. It's like not doing it just because we can. And so what, like, it's like, because that, what is the point then if you're just doing it just to show you could? It's just showing off. Like, it's like, where is it? Because as you say, it's taken out the compassion, it's taken out the all of those 7 attitudes you said, it's just removing them all. If you just do it without any sort of consciousness.
And that's it. That's it. The consciousness. You
Yeah.
cannot duplicate that to the point
Yeah.
where we protect humanity through it. You can't do it.
No.
That's
No.
why we have to be able to put boundaries on AI.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to. And
Yeah.
when your guest said we have to be at the center we have to use AI to protect us,
Yeah.
not to
Yeah. Yeah.
replace us.
100%.
That's a
Absolutely.
mindset.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree. It's been so wonderful to chat to you, Juan, and before I ask my final few questions, but like just to say, like, the first conversation we've had and first time we've met, or passion for what you speak about is just coming through the screen. Like it's so beautiful to see and hear, and that. So it's just I can see how much it means to you.
It's a joy that's on the inside because the
Yeah.
fact is that I know how it changes lives when you're
Yeah.
able to implement it, when you can grasp
Yeah.
it, when it becomes who you are and not what you do and say. It
Yeah.
changes your life. It's transformative.
Yeah. 100%. Absolutely. I say there's a few questions I like to ask every guest. And the first one of them, are there any quotes or phrases that are important to you?
Love never fails.
Oh, yeah.
That's the hook that drives
Yeah.
me, is to understand that if that's true, that
Yes.
means that I need to align with love
Yeah.
because it never fails.
That's such a good one. And who would you say have been the biggest influences in your life?
There are many of those. Um, when you put them all together, um, they really represent what love is. And to be able to understand that I grew up as a Christian, still a Christian, and to understand how Christianity was presented, it presented and represented what love was intended to be. What I've come to realize is that I've had to begin to peel back the layers between the institution and the God, the creator. And in the process of doing that, was able to then to really see what love is, what it looks like.
Yeah.
Um, and so when you say who's been influential, you know, the idea of the Bible, Jesus, um, but there have been people that I have actually been exposed to in my lifetime, you know, my parents, um, figures in the military, people in the military who exemplified these things that I talk about,
Mm.
who really began to show me what it looks like,
Yeah.
not to just to say it, but those that showed me what it looks like,
Yeah.
have been very impactful because they showed me how to implement that which I was desiring to be. And this is the thing, always desiring to want to be better.
Yeah.
That's, I think, many of us don't understand how significant that statement is to want to be better.
Yeah.
We get comfortable
Yeah.
with being who we are
Yeah.
without wanting to press to becoming better than who we are.
Yeah. Absolutely. And because I love that actually. And a couple of things I'll say about it. The first one on that is because I think you can sometimes people on from the information they receive, they can it can always contradict. The one thing can contradict the next. So one might say like, oh no, you just need to practice gratefulness and gratitude. That's all. And it's like, yeah, that's one thing. And then the next person says, oh, you need to be working towards the next goal, the next thing. So people are thinking, oh, it's one or the other. It's like, no, you can be both. You can have gratitude and gratefulness and thankfulness and acceptance of where you are. That doesn't mean you can't be ambitious tomorrow or ambitious today. It's like they both come together. It's not one or the other. It's actually one of the things I took from my wife. I always had this almost like points, like this mindset of one or the other. You gotta, it's like, no, well, you can do both. You can do a bit of every, you know what I mean? It's like, you can do both. You can be absolutely grateful and still be ambitious. I think that was a massive gift that I learned, to not punish yourself for wanting to be ambitious and not punish yourself for being ungrateful. Be both.
The subtitle of my book, The Guide to Inner Peace, Contentment, and success. Contentment is that space of gratefulness, gratitude,
Yes. Yeah.
while pursuing your potential
There you go.
and your success. It's that ability to be able, because this journey is going to be, it's going to be transitional. You know, you're going to be someplace that you may desire. You've got to be thankful for that place, but that doesn't change the fact that you are pressing towards that potential that really motivates you to wake up in the morning and to press. And that's exactly what love does. It gives
Yeah.
you inner peace, contentment while pressing towards your potential.
Yeah. And I think as well, it's like that thing of there's an element I think of actually think it's an acceptance piece as well that I found was quite sort of freeing in that there isn't an ending to that potential. It's not a destination to get to. It's, as you say, because the end point is the end point in
All
theory,
of us
if
got
you know what
that
I mean.
same point.
Exactly. So it's like, it's not to thinking because it's like, and that's where it's like the continuation thing, the continuation of keep going because there's more, and that. So I think it's that's amazing that was the subtitle of your book. I love that.
Absolutely. I mean, because it really absolutely gives you that connection as to
Yeah,
why it's so necessary. Because
yeah,
we're desiring, as we navigate this space, this thing called life, is we're looking for peace, we're looking for clarity, we're looking for
yeah,
understanding. And and
yeah,
and I'm sharing to know that this provides that understanding, that clarity, so that you can navigate this thing called life. That's
yeah,
what it's all about. It's what
yeah,
tools do you have? How do you view what you're being exposed to? And do you have what it takes to adjust the
yeah,
way you see it
yeah,
now so that love never fails? Align with love and you will never fail. It's I know it seems, at the end of my book, it's not a cliche.
yes.
It's really real.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. But I think because the thing is, what I love about what you spoke, and even just that phrase you said again there, is like, it's that thing of like, it almost again goes back to the word of simple you said earlier. It's like, doesn't mean that it's easy, but it is simple. And it's also, there's an element of when you say that love never fails, you're almost like, well, try and prove me wrong, because you'd be hard at it to try and prove me that's an incorrect statement. Do you know what I mean?
That's the key here. Let me tell you there are three characteristics of love.
Yeah,
And the first one, and this really, really defines what you just said. The first characteristic that I say is the three C's. And I say the first one is that it's a chameleon. And what that means is that it adapts to
yeah,
any situation. A chameleon is this multicolored thing that you put it out and it will blend in with anything. You will not know that it's even there. If it's a desert, if it's a doggone jungle, it will blend into whatever the environment is. It will adapt.
yeah,
And then the second C is that it's a conduit. It
yes,
connects us together. It allows us to be able to take and receive and give, receive and give, receive and give. But the one thing that I like to let you know about love that makes it unstoppable, never to be defeated, is that it's a choice. If you choose it, no one can take it from you. No one can prevent it. No one can stop you from loving. It's undefeated. It's your choice. Never fails.
yeah. Oh, so good.
You win.
Yeah,
We win.
absolutely. Yeah. No, it's yeah. Phew, that one hit me. That was yeah, absolutely. As I say, it's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you. I do have one more question before I let you go, which is, what's important for your future? I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask it anyway.
You know, I've been asked that to so many people, and it's really, in many cases, it's a number. Is that I want to be able to speak to millions of people. You've given me the opportunity to share the power of love in the earth, to be able to share the power. That future is to meet and to reach as many people with the power of love as possible. So you giving me this opportunity speaks to the future, and I thank you for it.
And I thank you for sharing so much, Juan. It's been, as I say, it's been an absolute pleasure. It really has. Well, I want to make sure you continue to have that opportunity and spread it as much as you can. I will make sure anything that we have for yourself is shared in the notes for the show. But if you would like to share where people can connect and follow you online, please do it now.
All of the above. But our website is clearjourney.org. And by all means, we are a nonprofit. If you would like to support us, by all means, we're taking donations to support this journey. But in all the social medias, you can reach us at Clear Journey Inc. Or we have a YouTube channel. You can go to our YouTube channel, which is Clear Journey Inc. Where we have two different podcasts on there, which is one's called It's Life and the other one's called The Philosophy of Love. And if you're interested, we'll be starting a new conversation around the unity of love, the power of the unity of love, how it works, how we can come together. I'll be having a monthly conversation. And if you want to know more about that, you can find out that on the website. But it's a once a month, and it's on all of the YouTube channels. We're promoting it now. But yeah, by all means,
Yeah,
I'm here. You can speak to
yeah,
me, call me. If you want to email me, you can email me at info@clearjourney.org. And to understand that we all win when we all
yeah.
understand that we need one another. And
Lovely.
and love is that tool.
100%. Well, thanks for sharing all that. We'll make sure the links are there for everyone that you can follow, connect, and absolutely follow what one is doing and Clear Journey are doing. I think it's absolutely a wonderful mission and vision and purpose that you're trying to do. And I thank you for sharing it with me today. I really do. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thanks for listening to What's Important to You. If you enjoyed this episode, follow or subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if it resonated, share it with someone who might need it too. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment or ask a question, and let's keep the conversation going. I'm James Dean, and I'll be back soon with another real conversation to help you reconnect with what truly matters. Until then, take care and stay curious.